Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to all of you. My name is Aida Binti Hazari, representative from Group 20, and I will be talking about the dark side of language racism. So today, my group members and I are here with only one purpose, and that is to disrupt language racism. Before I continue, what is racism actually? Basically, racism is the belief that groups of humans possess different behavioral traits corresponding to physical appearance and can be divided based on the superiority of one race over another. It may also mean prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against other people because they are of different race or ethnicity. That's a lot of words, isn't it? Well, to put it simply, racism is something that closely related to slavery, with the thoughts a bit different. As the media is growing widely, people are starting to realize the existence of racism in the language in their everyday life, as they can easily get a sneak peek of other community words of choice. Most of us know that racism is a bad thing, and we do not want to be racist to others. But why is racism still happening? And in fact, it is becoming even worse nowadays. Well, one of the most logical reasons that I can say is because of the idea that a certain group of people is superior to the others that has been around in societies for a very long time in many cultures and geographic regions. Because of this, it is hard to get rid of racism as people value their cultures better than others. What people don't realize is that language racism has caused a lot of negative effects involving mental health. Based on our study, the negative effects of language racism is including expose the victims to a high level of stress, causes fears, anxiety, and isolation, low self-esteem, mistreatment or abusive, and also suicide. This issue must be resolved as soon as possible so that no more people will become the victim of language racism. What we can suggest from our findings is that, first of all, the racial bias training program should be held regularly in the education settings and also in the community. This is very important to give people an insight into what language racism is, because many people still do not realize that sometimes they are actually committing racism towards others. Next, people also should learn about other cultures and their uniqueness so that people will have a better understanding of other ethnicities and negative stereotypes of perception can be prevented. And the third step that can be done is by creating safe space for a difficult conversation. Often, people are afraid to speak up that they are facing racism because there are not many platforms that allow them to talk freely. And because of this, the victim just keeps the problem to themselves, and until one point, they are having depression and anxiety. Last but not least, strict policy and regulation must be applied in order to combat language racism. This is very important to make sure people understand that racism is not the right thing to do and that punishment can be given to people who commit racism. To conclude, what we need to understand is that word is the most dangerous weapon because without we realizing it, things that we say to others might hurt them. We must be careful regarding what we want to talk about. Think before you say something. Language racism is not a small matter that we can joke around. Together, we must combat language racism so that all of us can have a better world that is free from racism. And that is all from us. Thank you.